I'm Dutch, and let's react to the Americans. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Johan, and I'm a typical Dutchman. And if you're planning to come over to Europe for your holidays, or even to live here, or if you're wondering why is everything so expensive in the US in comparison with Europe, then you are at the right channel, because in this channel I react to videos about the cost of life and living in the US versus the cost of life and living in Europe or the Netherlands. And for today we're going to take a look at the video from Diane Jennings, and I'm going to start with a subscribe and a like. 10 differences between USA versus European shops. And I've seen quite some shops in my travels through Europe, on the bike, of course. So I'm wondering I don't need to wonder, there are a lot of differences, but which 10 differences she has seen and discovered between Europe and America. I do not know if she lives in Europe or if she lives in America. So let's take a look at what she has to say. But before we do, I put up this screen from my view, and we are at 130 subscribers. And I have to thank you, all the new subscribers, because this is the last 7 days. The last 7 days that I'm not on the right screen. This is the right screen. From the last 7 days, I started this with 82, and we're now within 7 days up to 130. So, wow. I say thank you to all my new subscribers that you have subscribed to my channel, and it means to me that I do something right and that you like my videos. So thank you again for being a subscriber and make my channel grow with 50, almost 50? Yeah, almost 50 new subscribers in a week. Thank you all. And now, without further ado, to the video. I need to switch a lot now. There she is.
They did try to introduce this idea to Americans, and you guys kicked back hard. And most of these things on this list are from personal experience, but this one isn't, and I'll give you a good reason why. You both treat them better, as well as simultaneously treating them worse. So today we're going to look at some differences between European and American.
I'm gonna adjust the volume a bit, because she's a bit loud.
Stores. Previously on the channel, I have looked at the differences between supermarkets in the USA versus Ireland, and you should definitely check out that list, because I'm not going to go over the same stuff again today, because that would be boring.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
In that list, I covered things like how you have to pay for trolleys usually in Ireland, and that's the case in most stores in Europe too, and also how you store the eggs differently, but I feel like every list that ever talks about supermarkets does that. Today we're going to take a deeper dive, because there are so many differences between the stores there and here. If you've never left the USA, or if you've never left Europe, this should give you a good insight into them. Something I love to do, I've done a couple of times on this channel, is do supermarket walkthroughs. I've done them in Ireland on this channel, and I've done them in Spain on my Patreon. You can check that out here. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. Also the undercoverness of it all, because you can't get permission to film in a supermarket. You can also subscribe here for a short period of time only. It's going to be completely free. You can subscribe for free. Leave a thumbs up and comment. Bash the keyboard if you need to. Just leave something. It's all about engagement. Something that I think before we...
Yeah, she's doing all the wide call to actions here. I already did.
Get into the list, also goes without saying, is American supermarkets are way larger and there's a lot more variety. So let's just get that out of the way. And on to the more interesting things. Okay, the first huge difference, and perhaps that's punny, of a title to say, is everything in American stores is jumbo. And I know it's often said about food in America that your portion sizes are bigger, but it's not just those. Things like shower gel, cereal boxes, you have the option to buy these huge ones, whereas our regular standard sizes are...
Yeah, in comparison with Europe, everything is jumbo size. But for the Americans, it's the regular size, and you will say that we have small sizes, so small portions. It's for which point of view you're looking at it. But I'm wondering what she's saying about jumbo. Come?
Are way smaller. There's a couple of reasons for this. I think generally in Europe, we tend to have smaller kitchens, and we don't have usually things like pantries unless we've gone out of our way to have one. It's just not a standard thing that we have. Also, I've talked...
We have. So she's living in Europe for now, and I suspect that she lives in Ireland because she talks about Ireland. I guess it's about Ireland that she lives in.
About here before on the channel that you guys have a lot more preservatives and things in your food items so they last longer, and that's another reason you would have bigger sizes of food. But like I said, it's other things, like even bleach. You can buy the biggest bottles of bleach, and I think that's freaking awesome, because then if you could just buy the bigger one and go with like a big car or whatever, which generally you guys have in America.
Yeah, in America, everything you need a car to do shopping. So if you're with your car, then you stuff it with everything you need in full sizes, so that you don't need to drive every week to your supermarket, and we just walk to our supermarket or cycle to our supermarket once every 2 or 3 days, so we don't need to stuff our cars with jumbo size packages of what the things we need.
America, you can really load up on stuff and not have to go to the supermarket again for a long time. Theoretically, let me know if that actually works out for you. That being said, it leads me on to the cost of things. So it might surprise you to hear, and it certainly surprised me when I looked it up, that America is the 16th most expensive when it comes to grocery shopping in the world. That's
the 16th.
Really low down, whereas
I was thinking 16th. That's okay. Now I'm curious what's number one. In America, it's number 16 on the list. What's number one?
I actually think if grocery supermarket shopping in America would tend to be quite expensive. And that is because the cost per ounce is lower in America. And that's what they're comparing. Whereas you're buying bigger products, so you're spending more. It's funny how they trick you like that. The next thing that is different about American...
Yeah, and if she is in Britain, the ounce of the Britons are different than the ounce of America. And that's something else than the ounce in Europe on the other side. So on mainland Europe, we have, we have an ounce. We call it in the Netherlands an ounce, but that's something else than an ounce in Great Britain. And that's again something else as an ounce in the United States. So maybe they are comparing apples to oranges.
Versus European stores is generally American stores are seen as a one-stop shop. You go there, you load up your vehicle, and you go. There's a huge selection of different items that you can purchase. European stores tend to be more specialized. So yes, we would do a grocery shop for sure, but a lot of people tend to prefer to go to a butcher for their meat, for example. There's a higher quality of meat in the butchers than there is in most standard supermarkets. Same goes for baking. You might prefer to get your bread from a bakery. You can of course buy it from the supermarket, but it won't be the fresh good bread that you get. Especially the older generation of Europeans who do their grocery shopping will go to a lot of different stores. Younger people kind of tend to be lazier, and we just go to one shop and we buy the cheapy bread and the cheapy chicken, and then I go, how come my mom's chicken is so much nicer? Because she bought the good chicken in the butcher. Speaking
yeah, okay, she's right. The one-stop shop, we have everything depending on which supermarket you go. The more expensive one, like Albert Heijn, that's the really expensive one, have a larger selection on stock. So you have a large selection of different products in stock, and because it's a larger selection of brands and volumes, etc. It's also that they have a higher cost of that stuff needs to be destroyed, so they make they make less profit the higher the prices. But other shops like Lidl or Aldi, I've seen an Aldi on a video in the United States. Lidl and Aldi, they have a more compact assortment of goods that you really need for your daily activity, for your daily meals. And that's why they are cheaper, because they have only a selection that you actually need, less choices of different brands, usually the house brand and some other brand, and that's it. That's why those are cheaper, and grocery stores like Albert Heijn is more expensive. Yeah, she's right.
Of selection of items, you guys love a theme. I love that about America. You also load your stores early up on whatever the upcoming holiday is, and not necessarily even the next holiday. I have heard from a patron recently that you guys have your Valentine's Day stuff in the store already. Apparently even St. Patrick's Day items are there too. That is wild to me. Like, we definitely feel the onslaught of Christmas things before Halloween now in European stores, and to me that's wild. But in America, like, you can buy year-round holiday themed stuff pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Holiday themed stuff. It's early. Before what did she say? Halloween? Before the 31st of October? November, December? Yeah, right after it. In the first weeks of November, yeah, she could be right. At the end of October, first week of November, the stores already start with stuff that you can use or order for Christmas. And that's the same a month, 6 weeks, let's say, so about 6 weeks before holidays like Easter or Christmas or Valentine's Day, etc. Yeah, about 5 to 6 weeks in front of it, but not all year round.
This next one, I'm going to need some audience participation, because this is what I found when I googled it. Most of these things on this list are from personal experience, but this one isn't, and I'll give you a good reason why. So when I was googling differences between European and American stores, something that came up was American stores apparently don't have the little weighing scales in most shops that we have in Europe.
Yeah. As a question for my American subscribers and viewers, I believe that
that's the norm. Most stores don't. So when we go to buy vegetables or fruit, you will generally like get a little plastic bag from a rolly thing, and then you'll put your apples in or whatever, and then you'll weigh them, and you'll press the apples button, and you'll put them in your cart, and then when you go to scan them, you've got the barcode. Is that not a thing in America? The reason I don't know this is because whenever I visited the States, I've been loading up on your cereal and stuff. I definitely have not been buying vegetables. Sorry.
I and all your regular viewers are truly shocked.
No, I'm not sorry. Your trash food is freaking awesome. I love your trash food.
Okay, weighing scales. I really don't know how it is in the United States, and we have it here. And you can say we want to know what we want to buy and how much we want to buy. So you can weigh your own fruits and vegetables if necessary. Sometimes a cucumber is a cucumber. It's a regular price. That's it. And there are also other products like apples already weighed out to a kilo. So you bring along a kilo with a price tag, it's okay. But sometimes you want to weigh out your own bananas, or you want to weigh out only one paprika or something like that. It's possible. Only one, put up a price tag and go to the cash register.
Food USA. I'm going to scan over this one because I feel like people mention it a lot, but it is the tax thing. It's very confusing as a foreigner when I go to an American store of any kind that I don't know how much all my groceries are going to cost until I get to the end. And for groceries, this is particularly difficult because you get a lot more little things. Like, you really have to keep track, right? When you're shopping, that's tough. Anyway, bypassing that one because people mention it a lot. The next
Yeah. I know what she means. The prices in Europe, in Britain also. I really assume that she lives in Ireland now. In Britain and in Europe, it's the same, but in the European Union. What I'm talking about, Britain is part of Europe. It's not a part of European Union. So in Europe, there is the tax for your products already included in the price tag. So that the price tag on the product is the actual price you're going to pay at the cash registry. It's not that you get to the cash registry and still have to pay a certain amount of tax on your product, what you bought. And that's because some products have only 6% VAT and other products have 21% VAT. And other products don't have any VAT, the most basic stuff like bread, don't have VAT or low VAT, I believe. So to prevent a lot of calculating for the customer, this is already calculated into the price tag. So every price tag is the actual price you're going to pay at the cash registry.
next big difference. Oh, this is how differently you guys treat your staff in stores. You both treat them better as well as simultaneously treating them worse. So one thing I freaking love about American stores is how friendly the people who work there are. Like, I could be picking something off a shelf and just out of the blue, somebody will pop up in the cereal aisle and be like, "Hi, can I help you with anything?" And I'm like, that is so nice. That is so nice. A lot of times in European stores, you will feel like you're bothering someone if you ask them. Here we have stores that are like chain stores. You tend to have also in the USA like Aldi and Lidl. And as I think is the same there, you don't even have staff members wandering around. You just have the people stocking the shelves and the cashiers. You don't have like people who are around to help out. In European stores, if you're asking somebody who works there for help, you can often feel like you're bothering them, like they're trying to do their job and you're bothering them.
Yeah, she's right. Over here in Europe, the most stores, those people are doing their job, working hard, stocking up because they need to stock up an X amount within an X time frame. So they really go through everything. That's the way it should do. Now I know for the Netherlands, we are, not that friendly in stores in comparison with I see in, for example, in Germany. In Germany, they are a lot more friendlier in the store when you're asking something, when they want to help you and you need help with something. They do. They also do in the Netherlands, of course, but like she says, it feels like you're bothering them. So, sorry, may I ask you a question? What? Sorry, but where can I find? Oh, you can find. Yeah. I know what she means. Sometimes, and in the Netherlands, that is a feeling you will have in the stores.
It's not their primary job to help you. You're expected to know how to navigate a supermarket or a store by yourself. Also, I've never heard of a European store that works on commission. Maybe some of the high-end designer stores do, but I have never ever heard of that. And I know that's a big thing in stores in the USA.
No, we don't work with commissions. The staff gets paid. It's all in the union, so there is no discussion about how much is paid. Everyone gets the same price when they have the same job assignment. So no discussions, no premiums, no.
Another thing staff are allowed to do in Europe that seems to be a big issue in the States, I brought this up recently on a video, is we let our people who were working at the till sit down if they need to. There's a seat there. And I don't see why that wouldn't be a thing. I don't think you're
Wait, I didn't understand what she says there.
On a video, is we let our people who were working at the till sit down if they need.
At the tills, I don't know what she said. I need subtitles. At the till?
Recently on a video is we let our people who were working at the till sit down if they need to. There's a seat there, and I don't see.
Oh, okay, the till. New word for me. She means, I guess, the cash register. Yeah, people can sit there if you want to. Yeah, I didn't know the word till. New word for me.
Why that wouldn't be a thing. I don't think you're less efficient if you're standing or if you're sitting. So I really don't know why there's been such a fuss caused by that. I've seen like people on Reddit forums and Ask Quora and all that kind of thing saying like they wanted to sit down and their boss wouldn't let them. Like, you're just beeping stuff through. You should be allowed to sit down. Really, in my opinion, does not affect your efficiency. Maybe you feel differently. Let me know below in comments.
Yeah, she's right. I didn't know that it isn't allowed in the United States, but it doesn't affect your productivity if you're sitting or standing. I see a lot of cashiers just standing because they want to stand, and then after a while they go sit down. Or they're standing because they're doing something else in the shop, opening a cash register, do their stuff, and then closing, and then go back to work on the other side of the aisle or so. Yeah, but not sitting. Is that a thing in the United States?
Another thing that is different, and I suppose this is obvious, but also I said it recently to some people and they were surprised. We have a foreign food section. Of course, it's usually smaller than most American stores would have in supermarkets, but we have USA as the foreign food section. Yeah, the USA food is classed as exotic food, and I think a lot of the food there is not stuff most American people would eat on the daily. Usually there will be some kind of cereal. There is always that marshmallow goo. Is it just called goo? I think it might be just called goo. You'll always get some kind of crisp chips, and usually you'll find something in there that's just random. You won't even find in America, but has an American flag on it. The next thing...
Yeah, some stores I've seen it. I've seen it in the Lidl and I've seen it at Aldi, but that only at a certain period of the year and only for several weeks or so, and then it's gone because the theme is about America, or the theme is Greece, or the theme is Italy, or the theme is Asia. Then you get a special section with those food.
That is both good and bad as a difference between American and European stores is seasonal produce. So in Europe, a lot more than in the USA, we will have seasonal produce. Generally, as I understand it, American stores strive to have brand names year round, and you'll produce like all the same vegetables, all the same fruits year round. Thank you to science for making that possible, I guess. Whereas in most European stores, especially not chain stores, they will focus more on what is in season at the moment. You cannot, at a certain time of year, find strawberries for love nor money in certain parts of Europe. I wanted to buy a melon.
Oh yeah, she's right. I was thinking, what is she meaning? But yeah.
A few months ago, could not find a melon. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm sure somewhere you can get a melon, but it's not the norm. So they will highlight whatever is in season. Also on that note, local delicacies are favored. So if you're somewhere where cheese is a big thing, like in France, they will have a way bigger selection of cheeses. Fish is big where I am in Spain right now. There's a lot of fish selections. And again, there will be seasonal fish selections. So something that's more popular in summer versus...
Yeah, I know what she means. That's, seasonal products like strawberries and cherries and melons, different kinds of melons. Those are more seasonal, and at the point that they are actually in store, then it's the season for it. So most of the time, they are more cheaper during the weeks, not in the first week, because they put it in the first week, and everyone, oh wow, we have new cherries, and then those new cherries are more expensive than you wait a week or two, and then after 2 weeks the price is going down because there's a lot of cherries. Yeah, I know what you mean about fish. I guess in Spain, where she is at that moment, it will. I'm not seeing that in the stores over here in Netherlands, not by my experience, but some of my subscribers can correct me in this, but I've never seen those seasonal products in the stores.
versus something that's more popular in winter. Of course, as I said, there are international chain stores and there will be more reliable for your brand name things. This leads me on to restricted items. I think everybody knows by now that in America, you uniquely can buy pew pew. I'm always iffy if I can say the word. If you can't figure out that charades game there, you should not ever play charades. You can buy them famously in Walmart. It's sort of a lot of debate. Other things that might surprise you, you cannot get in regular stores in Europe are things like pepper spray, mace, any kind of self-defense item. You will usually have to go to a specialist store, or perhaps they are banned altogether. For example,
yeah, restricted, but that's a part of, and in the Netherlands, and again, I can be corrected by my subscribers, but in the Netherlands, we have by law a strict divide between products you actually need for your home and products, it's non-food products. That's a strict division, and something like this for personal defense, no, not in the Netherlands. I'm not even aware, and I did have a rifle one time or another, so I know where I can buy a rifle at a rifle store, but in my recollection, there are only 2 of those stores in my region, and then I'm talking about a region of, let's say, 25 miles. So it's not something you can buy. The same with knives and other sorts of stuff. It's not what you can buy in a regular store, food store, or another store. No, it's not possible.
Example, in Ireland, you cannot have mace or pepper spray. Recently, I don't know if he was trolling, but there was a guy on TikTok who got snared for trying to bring in pepper spray to Dublin Airport. You cannot have them. They are classed as an assault weapon. But you can, for example, buy them in Spain. You can buy pepper spray in Spain. I bought pepper spray. So exciting.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It was an exciting day for Diane, but I had to go to a specialist shop to get it.
Yeah,
and the
okay.
shop had all kinds of weapons and things like that. It was
Yeah, that's over here in the Netherlands too. I was thinking, oh, she could buy pepper spray in the store, but in a specialized store. Yeah, that's the same all over Europe. That's the rules between the European Union, so it's all over Europe.
Special shop, you can't buy it in a store. The next thing, and I kind of envy this one, is coupons. Coupons. I love how Americans say that. Coupons. Coupons. I would say coupons. So there's that famous TV show, which I can't think of the name of, where people try to get their entire grocery things for the cost of coupons.
$1,735.53. 000.
And coupons are just not as big of a thing in Europe. We do have them, but you cannot buy your entire groceries with coupons. That just doesn't exist for some reason. I can't think what the benefit of all those coupons would be. I know the idea is to get you to, buy 2, get 1 free, but when you can figure it out a way around it that you can get like 90% of everything free, that to me seems wild, and I'm not sure what the benefit of it is. Let me know. I really would like that explained to me in comments. And
Yeah, okay. Coupons. Not anymore. It used to be. Sometimes I will see it in the advertisements you get at home. You find a coupon, but most of the time in the Netherlands, and that's the biggest problem in the Netherlands, is that we are a small country. And we don't have that much bargaining power with the big companies about for our products, the big product companies. So a lot of our advertisement from the shops are always about 2 for the price for 1, or 50% off, or buy 3 and buy 2 and get 3, something like that. It's not that there are coupons. We did have sometimes, I don't remember lately, but sometimes there is actually a coupon, but most of the time nowadays it's all digital. You have a card, not a credit card. You have a card from the shop, and then you get some discount on some stuff, or some stuff even free if you have enough saved for something. Yeah, but really coupons, it's not a thing anymore in the Netherlands, and I'm not sure if it's even a thing in Europe at all.
Finally, the biggest difference is recycling. So we've talked about in the past how in Europe you have to bring your own recyclable bag with you, whereas in America you get free plastic bags. They did try to introduce this idea to Americans and you guys kicked back hard. Apparently there is a cost of $100 billion a year on plastic bags in America, but you guys were like, we don't care, don't take away our plastic bags. You do what you like. But something that might be of further interest to you is that in a lot of stores in Europe, you can recycle and get money back. We had a big thing in Ireland for years where the milkman would deliver milk to your house and you could put the empty milk bottles back out and he would return full ones. There's a similar thing, I believe, in German stores and also some other stores in Eastern Europe where you can return any glass bottles and you put them in the thing and you get like coins back. Recycling is highly encouraged in European stores. Doesn't seem to have caught on in the States.
Yeah, that's she's right about recycling. You get some money back. You have to pay first so that you actually do recycle. And we do it about. It used to be on only large bottles and PET bottles from plastic. Nowadays, it's also for the smaller bottles and even cans. If you're drinking cans, bring them back to the shop. You get, depending on what you're bringing back, between 15 cents and 25 cents per item that you bring back to the store and recycle there. There are a lot of people who are actually nowadays walking around picking up trash, quote, quote, cans, drinking cans from Cola or 7-Up or whatever brand is on there, and they have 30, 40, 50 cans, bring them back to the store, and they earn, and they earn, because I'm touching keys right here, and they earn 40 or 50 times 15 cents back. It's a way. Yeah, but it's in Germany, it's in the Netherlands, of course. I do not know how it is in other countries. I have friends in Belgium. They don't do it. They don't have it. And I'm not sure on the other end, like the Scandinavians, if it there is an item, I don't know. But in Netherlands and in Germany, it's been done. I was thinking Poland too. In Poland, you do it also. And it's all environmental. But what I was thinking about in the United States is what I saw, because there was also, I've seen somewhere that they don't use plastic bags, but paper bags. And that's already a good point for the environment to use paper bags instead of plastic bags. And even in the Netherlands nowadays, if you want to use a plastic bag, it costs you 5 cents extra if you want to use a plastic bag. And if you buy a plastic, you need to buy a plastic bag at the cash registry. A plastic bag costs usually 15 to 25 cents. Bring your own bag, your reusable bags. It's the best way. You get those big shoppers for €1 or so, and then you can reuse big shoppers again and again and again. It's all environmental friendly. That's the whole idea between recycling and less use of plastic. And that's something that the United States is not a big fan of. Recycling that hard and being concerned for how the world will look like for their children's children. Yeah. Good. There was a final point of her, I thought.
Recycling is highly encouraged in European stores. Doesn't seem to have caught on in the States. Let me know what you think about that. Shout out today to a couple of very special people.
Our first shout out comes from
Yeah. Okay. Good. Very interesting. A lot of things are discussed. I was not that surprised by a lot of it, but I hope that I give you some extra information because I was not sure what it was about in an island, or she's talking now in Spain. So she travels between two houses. I'm not sure why and how, but and anyway, I'll give you more information about how we do it in the Netherlands. And I hope you liked the video. Then press like. And if you want to see more of my videos, then this is a good one to start with. And if you want to subscribe, also like all the other peoples already did in the last 7 days, then this is a good button to click on. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.